There are many forms of yoga, many ways of coming to one. And one of the ways that is just so sweet is the devotional practice of loving God in the form of Krishna. God has many forms, and throughout history we can see these forms of perfection manifest on earth. We would call these forms in Hinduism avatars. And one of these avatars, one of the forms of the formless that have manifested here, is Krishna. Good morning and welcome to Vrindavan Ashram. This is where I'm staying. It's an ashram in the middle of Vrindavan, and the morning puja has just finished, and now people are stretching a bit, and soon the philosophy class and the kirtan will start.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Krishna was originally born in Mathura, which is like half an hour away from Vrindavan. But he spent most of his childhood and his teenage years here in Vrindavan. But back then it was not like this. It was just a grassland with a forest and a beautiful river. And this is where the village of Krishna and the village of Radha have come together to build a new home. Krishna has taught many lessons, but the one that is most relevant to me personally is the one that he has taught by his example. Ever since he was a kid, he was always on. He was always showing up in his best form to every situation, showing up in his best for life. He was never low energy. He never had an off day. He woke up every single day with a smile on his face. And there was such a deep contentment in him that he just danced through life. And he faced many very, very difficult situations, and if it was needed, he was tough. But the moment it wasn't needed anymore, the smile returned. And this is such a hard lesson to implement in one's own life, because I know that most of the mornings I wake up, it feels really hard to smile and to just try to show up in my best for life, because there's so many things that are just dragging you down. But this simple sadhana of just waking up with a smile and having contentment is such a deep one. In yoga we have the yamas and the niyamas, which are like the foundational blocks for yoga practice that one does even before doing asanas or pranayam or meditation. And one of them is called santosha, which means contentment. It's really interesting that in yoga, contentment is not considered to be a goal or as a result, but is looked at as a prerequisite for the practice, for the true practice to actually begin.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vrindavan has some beautiful temples and some amazing kirtans, and the energy that's here is truly something special. But all this is hidden under a huge layer of pollution. In the past few decades, this city has changed so much, and it's so strange that you're in a holy city, but what you're facing most of the time is not the story of Krishna and not the music, but the immense uncaring nature of people, that they just throw trash wherever they go, not caring about their environment, not caring about the effect that they have on others and the nature, which is, by the way, Krishna. You can't call yourself a devotee and pollute. But the good news is that there is a small community here in Vrindavan, and every day they get together to gather the trash and to try to recycle, and they are working on projects and try to spread awareness about how to keep the city clean. So if you come to Vrindavan, I think it would be an amazing opportunity to come and volunteer a few hours of your day and help out. I will put the link down in the description below where you can contact them if you're interested in volunteering or in donation. And I think it's an opportunity that if you come to Vrindavan as a tourist, it's really good to take part of, because most of this has happened because of tourism, and this is a way to give back. Krishna is usually depicted playing his flute, and the music that came from that flute was like the call of God itself. Someone would hear it, they would fall into a deep bliss and ecstasy and would forget about all worldly things and would join him dancing. In the village of Vrindavan 5,000 years ago, Purnima, or the full moon, was a pretty big event. And Krishna and the other kids in the village would come together by the banks of the Yamuna, and Krishna would play his flute, and the kids would be dancing and singing all night. And there's this one story about Shiva, who was sitting on the top of Mount Kailash, the yogi in the Himalayas in meditation, and he became aware that somebody is reaching the same heights of consciousness that he did through meditation, through dancing and singing. So he became quite curious what's happening. So he came here to Vrindavan, and he saw Krishna playing his flute and the kids just dancing and singing in the night. And he wanted to cross the river Yamuna to join them. But Yamuna Devi, the goddess of Yamuna, has emerged from the waters and said, you're not getting there like that. And the point is that Yamuna told Shiva that in order for him to join Krishna's dance, to join Krishna's Leela, he would have to dress up as a woman. Now, the lesson here is that Shiva is pretty much as masculine as one can get. He is the embodiment of masculinity. But even he had to dress up as a woman, became feminine, to join Krishna's Leela. And the lesson, for me at least in the story, is that if you want to join Krishna, if you want to reach Krishna and dance with him, you have to embrace your feminine side. You have to drop all those hard edges, all that forcing and thriving and penetrating energy, all that pushing that is so popular in our culture. You have to soften your hard edges and become and embrace your feminine side. You have to become open and receptive and surrender, and then you can join him.